Hey everybody, how's it going? So, I don't think I've ever mentioned on this channel before, but I've got two kids. Currently, I've got a daughter who's 3 and a son who's 1. And long before my wife and I ever had kids, I was kind of thought and wondered, how am I going to explain all these principles of personal finance and investing and money to my kids? And every time I thought about that, I always thought about it from the perspective of trying to communicate money principles to like a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or maybe a 10-year-old or what would you tell a 15-year-old? But never in my wildest imagination did I expect what happened to actually happen. I mean, kids surprise you, right? So I'm sitting on the couch one Saturday morning with my laptop, reconciling the budget for the month, and my daughter's playing, and she walks over and she looks over at the screen and she says, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I didn't think she would understand if I said, "Well, sweetie, I'm reconciling the budget." so, so instead I said, "Well, I'm working on the money." And she responds and she says, "Daddy, tell me about the money." So here we are. Here's the moment. Here's the talk. Right? This is the moment. She's asking. She wants to know about the money. I mean, this is great, right? But she's too young to really understand any of the principles that I want to communicate to her. So I finally respond, and I decide to break it down in simple terms and give some vocabulary words that hopefully she can at least understand or hear for the first time, and we can expand on these throughout the years and learn the concepts later. So I respond with some really basic principles. I said, "Okay, sweetie, so I'll tell you about the money. So first, you make the money." And she repeats. She goes, "Make the money?" I say, "Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, then you budget the money." You budget the money? Okay. Then you save the money? You save the money? Then you invest the money? Then you invest the money. And then I stopped, and on her own, unprompted, this girl comes out with, "And then you spend the money." God. Oh, I'm doomed. So anyway, we've obviously had some more conversations after that, but it got me thinking about making a video about this, because what I've noticed over time when interacting with all different types of people is that those who don't know anything about money are typically those who manage it very poorly, and at least when it comes to money, are not very successful. Then there are those who know just a little bit about money, and they do pretty well. There's a nice little break point where if you know just a little bit, you can go a long way. And then there's those like me who are just absolutely fanatical about money, and they, generally speaking, do pretty well. So let's talk about those principles a little bit. Those principles that are so simple that you can at least say them to a 2-year-old. They may not understand every word, but at least introduce the concepts. And if you know just a little bit more detail than just those 5 little principles, you actually go a long way in life. So let's talk about making money. How do you make money? Well, I actually really like the way that Robert Kiyosaki talks about this. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he's also the author of a book called The Cash Flow Quadrants, where he goes into great detail about what I'm going to give you a summary of right now. So the cash flow quadrants work like this. On the top left, you can be an employee. On the right, you can be a business owner. On the bottom left, you can be self-employed. And on the right, you can be an investor. And of course, this means that if you're an employee, you're trading your time for money. If you're self-employed, you're also trading your time for your money, but probably a little bit more because you own the business. As a business owner, you're actually trading people for money. It's usually quite a lot of money. And if you're an investor, you're turning your money into money. This is also what we call passive income. See, the interesting thing here is that you don't have to relegate yourself to one of these boxes. In my own personal case, I'm an employee. I trade my time for money at a company. I'm also self-employed. I run a YouTube channel that makes a little tiny bit of money at this point, and I do a lot of odd jobs on the side, little small contracts here and there for specialized work. And I'm also an investor. I'm making my money work for me to make more money. All right, so now that we know how to make the money by either being an employee, self-employed, a business owner, or an investor, Let's talk about that budgeting part. So I hate that budget is such a cuss word in so many families and households, because a budget is really just nothing more than a plan. It's a plan for your money. You have money coming in, you have money going out. It's best to plan how much money you're going to have coming in and what you're going to do with it in terms of what it's going to do when it goes out. That's all a budget is. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. It's just a plan for your money. You must have a plan for your money. Next, we have saving money. And I don't want this to get confused with something stupid like squirreling away your money under a mattress where it has no value and adds no value. But this is really all about making sure that you have a good, solid emergency fund. Now, it's completely up to you how you want to do things, but personally these days, I keep a 1 to 2 year emergency fund just to make sure that we have plenty of room in case anything crazy happens in the world and everything shuts down for a couple of years. Next, we have investing your money, and I don't want this to get confused with the investing we talked about up here in the cash flow quadrant. This is really all about investing for your retirement. This is specifically talking about investing in accounts that you really can't touch until you're much older, 59 and a half or older. These are your 401ks, your IRAs, your 403bs, and in some cases maybe even an HSA, depending on how you're swinging things. The point of this step is to make sure that no matter what, if everything else fails, by the time you get to 59 and a half, you will have plenty of money left over so that you can live a good life, a good comfortable life, and not have to worry about everything. And the funny thing here is that, especially depending on your salary, it really doesn't take that much. I should probably do a whole nother video on that. But if you, generally speaking, just put in the match, you'll be way better off than most people. It may not be enough to retire just based on your salary, but trust me, even having a little bit in retirement is way better than having nothing in retirement. Finally, we can't forget we have to spend our money, as my daughter so elegantly reminded me that day. We have to spend our money because we need to enjoy our money. We need to enjoy the money that we make. It's important. Otherwise, why are you going through this life working and worrying about all this stuff and having all this stress? Enjoy your money, spend your money, but not till you budget, not till you save, not till you invest and plan for your retirement. Once you've done those things, enjoy your money. And if you have so much left over that doesn't even matter, even consider giving back. I think at some point, if you become so wealthy, it doesn't make sense not to give back and let others enjoy your wealth as well. Well, there you have it. That's personal finance for a 2-year-old. Hey, parents in the community, do me a favor. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are doing with your kids or what you're planning on doing with your kids. I'm actually very curious, looking for ideas. It's difficult being a dad, a parent. There's not any instruction manual out there, and want to do our best for our kids and make sure that we give them all the right information. So anyway, just curious what you're doing. Hope you enjoyed. Hope everybody has a good day.